Hello everyone in the YouTube world, it's the Spirit Room 152. I'm going to talk about a couple things. Okay, so first of all, I just got a new job. I now work as a distribution runner for Maryland Pressure Washing. I basically go door to door shoving flyers under people's doormats and wedge them between their storm doors. And for those of you who live in another country or live in a region where storm doors aren't really existent, basically what a storm door is, it's basically a glass or screen door that is installed in front of the main house door. So when you open the front door, there's a storm door, and yeah. And I am basically being paid to ride my bike all over town and stick flyers. And also I get paid commission. So yeah. And hopefully I'll get something out of it. As I took the job because I had nothing better to do, and also because it's like, maybe I can make a bit of money before I go back to school. Because my parents do not want me working until I graduate. Because the thing is, it has been proven that I cannot juggle school and work at the same time. So school is like the main thing. And my parents are helping me out, so. But not to like the spoiled rich kid extent. Just like, you know, but they just do more than typical parents. And also, I'm going to talk about something I don't really talk about much, which is writing. The thing is, I like to write stories because it helps me get certain things out of my head, and also because it gives me something to do. There's this one story I've been working on since about March or April. It's called Complete 180. And when I write my stories, I like to put myself in the situation, in the story, because writing my stories that way forces me to think about what I would do in the situation. So in my story, I also threw in one of my favorite musicians into it, Josh from the Somerset. It made me think, like, what if he wasn't the person that nice, like, what if the person that we see outside of shows, like after shows, outside of venues, like, I've hung out with him outside of a show environment, and and he's still the same nice, sweet, awesome person, just slightly different. But he's still awesome, though. Like, what if it was all a facade? Because in this story, I wrote it so that Josh is a serial killer. And the and the sweet, awesome image, like, personality that he projects to people, like, it's all a lie. It's just a joke. It's not even real. Like, it's just like, it's like none, like, it's a big joke. It's just a costume, a mask, if you will. And it made me think, like what his 180 would be. And I at the time I started watching it, I had gotten myself really into a movie starring Jennifer Lawrence called House at the End of the Street. And basically in this story, houses are involved. The story takes place about a couple years into the future. I threw in my best buddy, Caroline Montoni, into the story. She's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. She is aware that I put her in the story as a supporting character. And I have shared the writings with her, so she does know that I put her in the story. And she likes how I laid out her character. So in the story, Caroline is a network security advisor, administrator. I forgot the title, and she works for the Arizona Cardinals. Whereas, and it's kind of funny because, and I actually made that Caroline's job in the story, because beforehand, Caroline told me she wanted to get into computer programming, which ironically enough is something that my dad does for a living. See if I got any tea in here. I have no tea. I need to make more tea. Okay, so Caroline knows that. So yeah, she does know that she is included in the story. But the thing is, Caroline expressed to me that she wants to do computer programming, like I said, and how my dad does it for a living. So that's why I gave Caroline the job, like in the story, where she works as a network security advisor / administrator for the Arizona Cardinals. There's computer programming in the NFL too. So there's that. And in the story, I had been hired by The Maine, another one of my favorite bands, to help them with their next album. And Caroline and I had moved into a house on East Stella Lane in Scottsdale, Arizona. I actually went through Google Maps to see if any of the streets matched, like if there's anything close to what I envisioned in the story, for my story, if any of it really exists. And it does exist. So, and East Stella Lane is a real street in Scottsdale, Arizona. And basically, Caroline and I live at the end of the street in the house, and then evidently Josh from the Somerset lives a couple houses down from us. And in the story, I'm not sure if I mentioned what Josh's 180 is, but in the story, Josh turns out to be a serial killer. What happens is, I don't understand, evidently he's still, in the story, he's still on tour with the Somerset, but at the time that the story is taking place, the band is on a hiatus, just taking a break from everything. And then evidently, I'm still trying to work out how he gets, I don't know, there's another aspect to it I'm still working on. But in the story, Josh's house has a walk-in freezer that contains the bodies of his victims. In this story, and this is something I actually came up with myself. I did not get this from anywhere, because the thing is, I had also at the time, I had been watching a show called Obsession Dark Desires, and what else? And then, yeah, Obsession Dark Desires. And I am currently working on a car chase scene, and because it is taking place in the future, because the thing is, at the time this story is taking place, my parents would be living in Nevada, because that's where my parents and I are moving to next year. So there's that. And also, so basically what Josh does is he goes on dates with these girls, asks them if they want to go back to his house. If they say no, he drops them off at home. Alright? And then the ones who and then basically all the girls are just one. You ever heard the term one night stand? They're more like they're more like one. They're like go on one date, toss them away kind of girls. And like it's regardless of whether or not the girl goes back to Josh's house or not. It's only like it only lasts one date. And the girls who do decide to go back with Josh to his house meet an untimely end. Because in the story, Josh basically ends up murdering them. What happens? Basically he ends up murdering them, and then you know how, like, if you ever seen, like, the back of, like, if you ever seen a meat freezer with meat hooks and with meat hanging from hooks from a ceiling, in this, Josh ends up hanging his victims from nooses, and he places the bodies in a walk-in freezer and uses them as punching bags. And in the story, I turn out, the thing is, it's not a one date thing. Like, I don't know, it's just because the thing is, the MO is different. Because in my case, because in the story, because I put myself, because where I'm in it, his MO is different for me than all the other girls. Whether or not I make it out alive remains a mystery. Whether or not Caroline makes it out alive is a mystery. There's so much I have not touched yet. And I just, I don't think I'll ever put it online anywhere. But, there are references to House at the End of the Street in the story. Like, one of the scenes, is based on, like, a couple of the scenes, like, I got, like, reference House at the End of the Street. And there was, and it's kind of funny because recently, Angry Alien Productions, they're a production company, that makes 30-second reenactments of movies featuring bunnies. And there's a 30-second bunny version of House at the End of the Street. I'll include the link down below. And also I'm going to throw in my Twitter. I've been doing that with a lot of my videos. So you can follow me. My Twitter's at TheSpiritRoom1. And my Instagram is TheSpiritRoom1. So there's that. Well, I think that's all for now. So till next time. Bye.